If you're thinking of starting or scaling a business, there are a few important things that you need to take into consideration. Hey, Dory Staley here, mentor, motivator, and chief encouragement officer, with a few quick tips for you today. Now, one thing that you need to keep in mind is it's one thing to have a great idea or a mission, but it's another thing to get the word out. You also have to make an effort to connect with people, and here's why. There are people and organizations out there who can help you move your mission forward. You can go further faster when you partner with others. So, tip number one is first make sure they're a good fit. Screen things thoroughly, do your due diligence, pray about it before you jump in and say yes. I've been approached by dozens of different people and organizations over the years, and as it turns out, they weren't all a good fit, and sometimes we started something, but it just didn't pan out. So be discerning and take your time making those decisions so that you don't waste a whole lot of time and effort. Tip number two, build your network. Don't wait for people to come and find you. Start connecting with people for the purpose of mutual referrals. Be very honest in your approach, however, and let them know that you would like to connect for that purpose so that you can each tell each other what you do and ask how you can help. Be a giver, and that way you can pay it forward. Please don't reach out on LinkedIn and do an automatic sales pitch right after you connect. I hate that. That is like asking someone to marry you and you haven't even been on the first date. So that's a big no-no. Tip number three, swing big. Don't be afraid to reach out to individuals and organizations that are really well known. I've done it multiple times. Sometimes it worked automatically. Sometimes I got turned down, and sometimes they didn't respond at all. But hey, if you don't try, you'll never know. People have often asked me how I've gotten things like famous guests on my podcast back in the day when I had a podcast for musicians. Dory, how did you get Carrie Underwood's drummer? I just asked and he said yes. And the same applies to being a toca percussion artist. I've used their drums for years. A drum shop in Raleigh had mentioned to me that they have an education arm and they recommended that I reach out, but they took it one step further, and this is really key. They gave me a contact person's name. That way it was a warm lead and not a cold call. So when I reached out, I could just say, hey, so-and-so at this shop referred me and told me that we need to chat. And they took it from there, and it was really very, very quick process. Before I knew it, I became an endorsed toca percussion artist, which means I'm on their website. I get a discount on their drums. I can order them at a discount for clients, and it works really well. I make sure that I tag them whenever I do a post, and I make sure that it's a post showing the drums. And in return, they always forward the post or repost it. So it's a win-win. All right, so I'm still waiting to hear back from Tim Tebow already. Call me. But Christine Kane did respond, and Sheila E., not so much, but you never know. It could be somebody who you need to write your book forward, for example, or you might want to ask them to do a review of your book. You might want to combine forces in a ministry perspective, or join them in their efforts in some way because you have something to offer that would enhance whatever that they are doing. So make sure you show the benefits. Tip number four is be a connector. A connector is someone who refers others freely. I do this automatically. If I see someone is looking for something and I know someone who can help, I will connect the two of them, or I will tag them in the post. If someone tags you, for example, make sure that you respond and that you follow up, because that way it shows appreciation. So make sure you reciprocate. Last but not least, remember to keep God in the mix. Actually, that should be the first thing, but in case you didn't figure that one out, ask for God's guidance and discernment. Make sure also that you're in a community of solid believers. Don't go it alone. Connect and collaborate.